Hello everyone, my name is Marlon Nunez. I'm a 3D character artist specialized in digital humans and also co-founder from Art Heroes. So today we're going to be talking about rates, about salaries. It's one of the bigger topics in the industry, especially if you are starting in the industry. You want to know exactly what are the rates that you should, be asking for, and also some strategies that you can use in your advantage to do that research as well. Okay, so we're going to be covering that today, so I hope you guys find it useful. All right, so let's go through it. So let's set your rates as a 3D character artist. So who define the rates? I think that's kind of obvious. Obviously, it's a synergy between you and the client, but at the end of the day, you are going to define your rates, and those are going to be established mostly about your quality level and also your experience. But in my opinion, it's more about the quality, because when we talk about years of experience, it's not as relevant as eventually what you can deliver to them, right? So let's go through it quickly. So let's separate two things, right? So first we have the full-time jobs, and then we have freelancing. There are two different ways to work. So here you probably are going to find yourself which one is more suitable. So let's talk first about full-time jobs. So one of the greatest advantage about full-time jobs is that those are companies, and people talk about companies obviously, and also the salaries that they perceive in those companies. So if you guys get into Glassdoor, I don't know if you hear about it, but in Glassdoor you have so much information about companies. You can find not only a whole bunch of different details about it, but also how the interview process works in that specific company, which are the salaries that they perceive in that company, a whole bunch of different information that can be extremely useful when you are doing your research. And also here, when it comes to salaries, it's very important to say that it will be so dependent also to the country, because it's not the same if the company is based in the US or it's based in Europe, or it's based in Asia. So here we're going to be finding different fields. In any scenario, I just want to give you a practical example. So if you get into Glassdoor, you can just here on the search bar, you just type the name of the company. Hopefully appears. Most of the company, especially the famous one, they do already appear there. So in this case, I just made a quick research in double negative. And then here you have a bunch of different tabs. You can find different jobs, even reviews from employees or even ex-employers from those companies talking about it. Something very interesting about the interviews. I found that fascinating as well. And here you have salaries, which is where we are hitting here, right? And obviously we have different fields when it comes to salaries. So we're going to be focusing on the 3D artists. And this, for example, specifically, we're talking about the double negative office that is in the United States. And in this case, looks like at the average salary per year, we're talking about 82K USD dollars. Okay, so that's very fascinating because we already have one number. So let's put you in the situation that you just started in the industry, and you just want to find out what is your salary with zero experience. So one of the cool things about Glassdoor is that you also can set the experience level, and then the salary will update accordingly to it. So for example, in this case, I just make a research in Blizzard. I put like 0 to 1 years. So it looks like in the US, for a junior artist, they will be hiring artists for around 70K. So in this sense, you already have like a number to talk to the recruiter. Normally when it comes to full-time jobs, just to let you know from my own experience, is that it's already the employer, the company, the one that sets that number. And it kind of goes with the interview. Obviously there are some like discussions about it, but it's very common that they set first number. But for you, it's very important as an artist to know exactly what is the number that you're supposed to be hitting. Okay, so you don't get mocked in that sense. Okay. I just want to say a funny story. So I started working in the industry since 2010. So it's already some few years, right? So obviously I started as a junior back in 2010, and I was working for a company that it was remotely. It was based in the UK though, but it was a remote position. And as a junior artist, as a character junior artist, I was perceiving just $60,000 a year. And that was crazy low if you think about it. Obviously, we are talking about years before. Now the rates are higher, but still, even I think for me, just from that first year, it was like was actually great. From 0 to 16,000 was amazing. So I think one of the most important things that you should value is about getting to the industry. Well, know your rates. We are going to be discussing that, but yeah, just make sure that you love what you do. So, for example, in this case, even if I specialize in digital humans, that's pretty much my specialty. My first year where I was working is pretty much like all these, all these, spectators that you see in the racing game. I want you to pay attention to the motion blur, right? That you almost see all the details, right? So that's pretty much what I was doing for my first year. But yeah, I love it. That's pretty much how we start, right? It's like we just start, and from there we kind of figure out what we want to do, right? So just like a funny thing to say. So let's talk about the second part of the presentation. It's about freelancing. So in my case, I'm a freelancer, so that's pretty much where I have more experience. I've been freelancing already for like 7 years already, so I'm very kind of like mature in that sense. So 5 rules for setting better rates as a character artist. So one thing that as a freelancer notice is the fact that since I started specializing more in my field, in my case it's digital humans, I'm talking about the hyperrealism in this sense, it's more, I'm getting more noticeable, and then I get more approached by different companies, recruiters, etc. So one of the things that I want to ask you is to start specializing. In our heroes, for example, we have the character accelerator program as well. That it's what we want to show our students is how to specialize into character creation and also to try to develop your style. So here there are different ways to go around it, but the most important is to have a methodology, so you are able to approach any type of style and also finding your style with a with the right structure. Okay, so very important, try to specialize because that's going to give you more exposition in the industry. And also something that I do quite frequently, I pretty much receive like 2-3 emails per day with like different jobs. I never reply emails where I see that there is something shady. By that I mean when they don't really specify what they are even talking to you. Half of the time they don't even know what you are doing. They just find you online and they just start spamming you. So to kind of avoid this type of clients, because these are the clients that you have to avoid all the way, just if you find there is something unclear about the message, just don't engage. The best clients, in my opinions, are the ones that have things clear from the beginning, and they don't have money, they don't have problems about talking about money. So when there is clear the project, they want you from this to that, when you're available, that's perfect. That's the type of client that you're looking for as a freelancer. Okay, so try to avoid shady clients in general. Also, as a freelancer, you're going to find yourself like in a roller coaster. So sometimes you have a lot of jobs, and then all of a sudden there is nothing happening on the horizon. Normally that happens during summertime, where the companies have like a lower, lower projects, and this is the perfect time to start investing time in yourself. That's something very important. Trying to improve. Try to make sure that whatever you felt that you didn't correct on your previous jobs, or either you feel like you need to improve, just start taking some downtime. And believe me, all of this is going to pay you back. So it's very important to kind of put time in improvement. Showcase your learning journey to be discovered. So here we're talking about social media. As a freelancer, I think we cannot avoid the internet because people find us through internet anyway. So we need to be sure that we are exposed online. So try to don't be shy about what you are doing. So showcase your work in whichever social platform that you find. Normally the ones that invest most of my time would be Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook in my case. That is where I find that I get more exposition. Obviously, every different a field possibly have the different platforms, but just make sure that you are online in that sense. And finally, know what you are worth. So once you start engaging in conversations with clients, if you see that the whole thing is not going the right direction, just say no. Just it's very important that at the end of the day, if you're going to be working on a project, make sure that you are satisfied with the type of salary you will be perceiving. Because believe me, at the end of the day, most of the projects end up extending, and it could be the case that you just don't feel happy with the initial salary that you talk about. So it's very important from the very beginning, how much your time worth. Okay. So what can I change, right? So first of all, let's talk about what is the average salaries as a freelancer. So as a junior artist, we normally, well, I'm not a junior artist, but as a junior artist, you will be charging something around $150 per day. Then as a mid-level artist, something about 350, and then from senior artists to masters, they would be from 500 plus. I've seen rates like even of 1,000 per day. So from there is no maximum. It is more about how much you think you're worth and how much that client needs of your specific skills that you have. So it's very important that's what I'm talking about try to specialize into one specific field. Okay. Something very important about the timeline. So obviously, as I said before, a lot of projects end up extending over the time. So the more you are working on the industry, the more you're working different projects, you kind of have an average time of how long it will take you. So something that I normally do, even if I know, for example, if a 3D bust, I can do it in 3-4 weeks. I normally try to add a couple of days more or even a week more, just to be sure that I'm covering whatever request we're having. So it's very important to count on those extensions, and from there you can do your maths. So you're charging per day, you put your number. Obviously, as a client, they might start pushing that number down or whatever. So try to be sure that you try to get as close or even just fix that number, and that's it. Okay. So one of the things that some of the questions that I hear in just kind of recently is if it's true that nobody is hiring now and all the projects are frozen, with all the crisis and this kind of stuff. Well, it's like it feels like in general lines, I feel like everything's like a roller coaster. So even for example, for the last months, I was start having less requests, and now, for example, I start getting a lot of requests. I wouldn't know exactly what is the explanation about it, but in my opinion, there will be always projects happening. Just the industry is changing. There are different, different requests. I started getting even different requests from stuff that I was not doing before. So it's just very interesting that it's very dynamic in that sense. But at the end of the day, there are always jobs for all of us. Okay. So I have an assignment for you. So I want you to think about this. So what you could do to improve your rates in 2023. So you need to think about what type of skills or what type of things you should do to improve those rates. So that's pretty much what we have for today. So feel free to give the answer, and then I can wait to see about it. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Don't forget to enter your assignment on our Discord for a chance to win a seat in our character art accelerator. All you need to do is post your daily assignment in the event thread. Every assignment submitted gets one entry to the character art accelerator raffle. If you don't know what the character art accelerator is, it's our flagship program designed to help you launch your dream art career in just 16 weeks. Together with me and my team of coaches and mentors, we're going to teach you all you need to know to land your first job as a character artist. You'll learn things like character art anatomy, and how to use in both stylized and realistic characters, how to recreate a character from a concept and a sphere to presentation and lighting, essential tools for character artists from ZBrush to Substance Painter, full pipeline studios used for characters, how to approach job search and conversations with recruiters. And you finish the program with 2 show-stopping portfolio pieces. The doors open next week, and they'll send you more information by then. But for now, all you need to do is post your daily assignments in the event thread on our Discord, and we'll draw a lucky winner this Saturday.